So Donald Trump Jr. Recently weighed in on the Mueller report, and surprise, surprise, he claimed vindication for his role in the Trump Tower meeting. Now, that Trump Tower meeting, the reason that they look into that, because it could have been considered a foreign contribution from the Russian government. Now, again, they had offered to basically give damaging information on Hillary Clinton, which would have been a campaign violation. Now, the special counsel looked at the evidence and decided to decline prosecution of Trump Jr., mainly because they concluded that he was not smart enough to have knowingly committed a crime. Not smart enough. Now, those are my words. That's my interpretation. Let me give you the actual quote here from the Mueller report. It said the investigation has not developed evidence that the participants in the meeting were familiar with the foreign contribution ban or the application of federal law to the relevant factual context. Basically, what they're arguing is that Trump probably didn't know that it was illegal, and since he didn't know, it's not actually a crime. Now, isn't that amazing? Try to apply that standard to anyone else. Well, I had no idea that I was doing a crime, officer. I didn't know that robbing a bank was illegal. Thanks for you guys told me. I almost got away with it. Whew. Here's some money back. Come on, what standard? Who gets held to that standard? Now, Harry Sandick, who's a former federal prosecutor, talked about this, and he said that this was a departure from the usual rule that ignorance of the law is not a defense, and it is very unusual. They said, for a willful violation, you must know that what you're doing violates some known legal duty. Now, Sandick is not involved in the probe. Trump Jr. was not viewed as someone who necessarily would have known the law in this area. So now, again, if you're rich and powerful and also really stupid, you can get away with doing crime. You can get away with campaign finance violations. It's okay. It's okay. You didn't know better. You didn't know better. I mean, who would have known that getting help from a foreign power would constitute a violation of election law? Well, I don't know. If you get anything of monetary value from someone who's a member of a foreign power, foreign country, then yeah, you must think that that would be somehow illegal. But Don Jr. apparently didn't know, or that's the defense. Now, to be fair, he is not the sharpest tool in the shed. Let's be honest with that. He's kind of dumb. Which led to him tweeting this out. Quote, "Told ya." Just that. Well, you told us what? That you're too dumb to have committed a crime? Yeah, we already kind of knew that. I mean, we knew you were dumb, but apparently you're not. You're too dumb to jail. That's what's going on here. Now, following this tweet, you got some fun responses. Tony Poznansky said, "You were vindicated because they determined you were too stupid to know what's going on. So congrats on being a dumbass." Yes, congratulations. David Rothkopf has a little bit more of a interesting answer here. A little ominous, actually. He said, "You don't know what's coming, do you? You're just too damn dumb to see it. This is not the end of the investigations. This is the beginning. Mueller's conclusions don't exonerate you. They confirm everyone's worst suspicions about you. You won't like how the story ends." Well, that remains to be seen. Okay. So now, there are other investigations. There's Southern District of New York. Basically, what happened here is the Mueller investigation was very narrow in scope, but they did hand off a lot of information to some of the other investigations that are happening right now. Emoluments clause, they're looking into that. They're looking into, as I said, into the Southern District of New York, et cetera, right? So now, look, this is what I was saying about the Mueller report. It is too limited in scope. Russiagate, and that's what this was. Looking into a criminal conspiracy where the Trumps had allegedly got the help of the Russians and conspired with the Russians to steal DNC emails to hurt Hillary Clinton. That was not something that I believed in, right? It was never going to bring down Donald Trump. Now, financial crimes, that's what I was talking about. You can go back a whole bunch of videos back when I was talking about this and say, And you would hear me say, go after the finances, go after the financial crimes, because that's how you're going to bring down Donald Trump, right? Now I'm actually changing that and saying, maybe the financial crimes will bring him down, because what we've seen so far is a president that has been able to pretty much get away with anything because he is rich and powerful. And that's more of an indictment of the system than anything else. Now, as far as Russian collusion, right? Look, collusion was actually not in the report, as I mentioned before. Criminal conspiracy, right? Now, there's no evidence of that. And I dare say Trump, I think, is too dumb to actually come up with a conspiracy. And yet, his son, Donald Trump, has remarked in the past that he thinks Don Jr. is too dumb. He's not a smart person. When someone as stupid as Donald Trump thinks you're dumb, that's gotta sting. Especially if it's your own son. It's gotta hurt. There's more. Trevor S. Val says, you think this is good for you? How adorable. Nancy Lee Grand says, you might want to keep the braggadocio down there. Junior, I realize you live with many challenges and don't have the capability to understand big concepts, but Mueller concluded that you were too dumb to know what you were doing. He didn't say you didn't do it. Yep. Holy Bully says, oh no, you aren't going to prove Mueller right about your stupidity, are you? And Angela Brito Baldwin says, simply, this tweet isn't going to age well. No, it's not. But I got to ask, when is anybody in the Trump orbit, or part of the Trump family, I should say, ever going to be held to the same standard as everyone else? Now, there are people in the Trump orbit that got in trouble for their crimes, but no one in the Trump family. And I find that very strange. Maybe it's because as long as they're in power, they're never going to be held accountable. So that's what power and influence gets you here in America. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent, progressive media.